Markets took a wild turn today with the disappointing jobs report sending shockwaves, while Baidu continued its breakout and metals kept their fiery streak alive. You're tuned into the Stock Market Summary series where we get into the markets, what happened, some standout stocks and sectors, we'll touch on the economy, and we'll wrap up with crypto and metals. But as always, just remember that none of this is buying or selling advice. It's just market commentary and trading education. And with that said, let's get into it, folks.
Okay, so let's unpack today because, wow, some serious volatility out there. The SPY, the S&P 500 ETF, it actually gapped up first thing, new all-time highs.
That's right.
But then a pretty sharp pullback. Found support, though, right at its 20-day moving average. And that rising trend line we've been watching, then it bounced.
Yeah, that level held nicely. And the DIA, the Dow tracker, did something similar. Bounced right off that rising support trend line.
We actually pointed that one out last week, didn't we?
You did, yeah. Good call there. And the QQQ, NASDAQ 100, same story, basically. Gapped up, pulled back, bounced from its 20-day. Interesting how those key levels held up across the board, isn't it? Makes you think.
It does. But, under the surface, sectors were kind of all over the place. Not a unified move.
Oh, how so?
Well, energy, XLE, got hit pretty hard, down almost 1.93%, led the downside.
Okay.
But then you had real estate, XLRE, leading the upside, added 1%. Kind of surprising, maybe.
A bit, yeah.
And financials took a noticeable hit, too. Stocks like Schwab, JP Morgan, they saw some selling pressure. And this kind of divergence, it's exactly why solid risk management is just, well, it's non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
As, seasoned traders understand, things can shift fast. Managing that risk precisely. That's something we dive deep into in our Grok Trade mentorship.
Right, good point. Okay, let's talk standout stocks. Tesla, TSLA, we've been watching that symmetrical triangle. It broke out, didn't get that crazy parabolic move some might expect, but it did pull back to its moving averages. Held.
Found support.
Exactly, found support and is now, grinding higher highs, higher lows. Steady.
Classic post-breakout action sometimes.
But the weekly chart, that's what's really got my attention. The moving averages are so tightly coiled. Looks almost like a giant bull flag pattern forming.
Ooh, yeah, that could be significant. Coiled energy like that in Tesla, it often precedes a pretty substantial move, one way or the other.
Makes you wonder, right? How much power is stored up there?
Definitely one to watch. And Baidu, BIDU.
Ah, yes, Baidu. We talked about its consolidation phase.
And it just kept pushing higher this week. Continued that breakout.
It really did. And Baidu, much like Tesla sometimes, tends to move strong and fast once it breaks consolidation.
We're seeing that play out now. The question is naturally, how far does this run go?
Or does it stall out here? What signals should we look for?
Volume is key, of course. Need to see if buying pressure continues to support the move. Decreasing volume on up days could be a warning sign.
Got it. Okay, let's shift to the economy because that was the big news driver today.
No doubt. The non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate data. That was the headline.
And it wasn't great, was it?
No, definitely underwhelming. Payrolls came in really weak, just 22K. Consensus was, 75K? And last month was 79K. So a big miss.
Wow, okay. And unemployment?
Ticked up. Went to 4.3% from 4.2%. The forecast was for it to hold at 4.2%. So assist on both counts.
So this kind of jobs report, it definitely gets traders thinking, maybe a bit nervous.
Absolutely. It can shift sentiment quickly, and it just hammers home the point, again, about risk management. You need strategies to handle these kinds of surprises.
Very true. You can't predict the news, but you can manage your reaction.
Exactly. We're keeping a close eye on how the market digests this data going forward at Grok Trade. It could influence things for a bit.
Makes sense. All right, quick pause here. As always, guys, if you've got a stock you're watching or a question about the markets, drop it in the comments. We might cover it in an upcoming episode. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video and appreciate these market summaries, do us a big favor and hit that like button. It's totally free and helps us out in a big way. And click subscribe, too, so you don't miss a beat. You can always subscribe later. Okay, moving on. Crypto and metals. Bitcoin, BTC.
Yeah, Bitcoin had a bit of a bounce today, up about 0.5%.
Shook off yesterday's loss then.
Seems like it, yeah. But still, looking at the daily chart, it's in a clear downtrend for now.
Right, but the weekly chart is interesting. Looks maybe like just a pullback within a larger potential uptrend, or a bear pullback, rather.
Could be. The weekly perspective often gives a different picture. Right. So yeah, need to watch if that daily trend starts to shift or if the weekly weakness takes over.
Okay. And metals. Gold and silver.
Whoa, they were strong.
Yeah.
Gold GLD surged 1.33%.
Nice.
And silver, SLV, up 0.76%. Both have been really, really hot this week, on fire.
Definitely feels like momentum is there.
For sure. And that's the big question everyone's asking.
Yeah.
How high can they go? We're watching volume very closely at Grok Trade, looking for signs if this momentum is sustainable. That's a critical technical clue.
Right. Volume confirms the move.
Exactly. And, seeing moves like today, SPY and QQQ bouncing perfectly off those technical levels, Tesla teasing that big weekly pattern.
Yeah.
These are the kinds of setups, the nuances that we really focus on teaching in the Grok Trade Mentorship program. It's about training your eye to spot them, understanding the risk.
And managing it effectively.
Precisely. Managing risk with precision, trading with confidence, that's the goal. And like we always say, we support you until you recoup your investment. There's just so much practical know-how and technical analysis tacked into the program.
Good stuff. So let's wrap this up. We're ending the day, the week really, with a very mixed picture.
Definitely mixed.
You've got that weak jobs data kind of stirring the pot, creating uncertainty. Yet the main indices bounced off key support, showed resilience, and metals are just heating up.
Yeah, lots of conflicting signals out there.
So it really raises an important question for you, the listener. How are you positioning yourself for next week's action with all this going on? Something to think about over the weekend.
Good question. Strategy is key right now.
All right, folks, that's our summary for today. We wish you all a great weekend. Stay safe out there, trade smart, and tune in next week as we continue to cover the markets and all these developments we've mentioned.